Hi everyone and welcome to our channel. Today we are going to see static variables and methods, instance variables and methods in Python. Let's see the static variables first. These variables are declared at class level and static variables are shared by all the objects, which means if the static variable content is modified by one object, then it will be reflected in all the objects. And see the static methods. In order to define the static methods inside the class, you need to use a annotation at the rate static method. And static methods should not have the self as an argument, which means self is nothing but a reference variable pointing to that object, current object. So static refers to the class level, so there will be no self keyword or self argument in the static methods. Observe this example, class student. Here the college name is a variable declared at class level, not inside the constructor or any methods. It is declared at the class level, so this is called it as a static variable. Now observe, this is the static method because in front of it we used an annotation at the rate static method. Generally static methods are used to update the values of the static variables. Now take the example here. First we are going to get the value of the variable college name using the class name student.college name. In order to access the static variables or methods, we can use the class name directly. Student.college name will give the value xyz here. Similarly, I am going to call the method update college name. This is also a static method, so I am going to call with class name student.update college name, and I am giving a new name ABC. So this new name will be copied here and the college name static variable value will be updated to ABC. Now see, I am going to print again student.college name. This time I am going to get the value ABC, but before the updation I am going to get the value XYZ. In this way we can access the static variables, and the instance variables are declared inside the constructor, and instance variables are specific to every object, which means if you modify a variable inside the object, then it won't reflect the other object. And instance methods are used to work on instance variables, and in instance methods we have the self as the first argument because it refers to the current object. Now see this example, class student. This is the constructor. Inside the constructor I am having two variables, which means SID and SName, student ID and student name are the instance variables, and this is the instance method which takes a new name as argument and updates the name of the student. Now observe here, r equal to student of 1 comma row, which means this is the ID and this is the name. In this way we are creating an object. This is the object created and the r is referring to it. Here the ID is 1 and the name is row. Similarly, this is another object and S is referring to this. Here the ID is 2 and the name is Sham. Now as I said, the variables are specific to the objects. I am updating the name of the first student with Rao to Ram. This will be replaced as Ram. Now observe r.sid and r.sname, which means r.sid is 1, r.sname is Ram. Even though I updated the value of Rao here, it won't reflect here because the objects are very specific. Now see s.sid and s.sname. S.sid will be 2 only and s.sname will be Sham only. In this way you need to work on static and instance variables. Observe the example here. Class car, this is the car name. In this question they are asking the number of static, instance and local variables. Observe the number of static variables. These are static variables because static variables are declared at class level. And similarly, These are instance variables because these are specific to every object. Now similarly, the local variables are nothing but the variables used within a method or a block. Let the init this be a method. So the local variables are model and doors. We are having two local variables. So the value will be number of static variables are 2, number of instance variables are 3, number of local variables are 2, and the counter value. Observe this code. First time I created the object car1 equal to car. This is the car1, which is having the values of Ford and the number of wheels as a 4, model and the doors as a 4. Now see this car 2. This is going to be the car 2. Whenever I executed this line, car dot counter plus equal to 1, which means the counter value will be updated to 101. It is a static variable, right? So it is applicable to all the objects. Now observe, when I executed this line, this will be ports car with the number of doors as a 2, and if this is executed, car dot counter plus equal to 1, counter value will be updated to 102. Now observe, the counter value will be 102. In this case, you need to trace the codes related to OOPS concept. Thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe.